My father, Leon Ritchie, delivered the Salt Lake Tribune newspaper in this valley for 70 years, in addition to having a feed mill and a poultry farm and a motel and an egg route and a feed route and all kinds of things. He had a little entrepreneurial stuff, and so he was always trying to build and grow and working hard, get up early, rented rooms in a motel, and then hauled baby chicks all over the world. And he was just the hardest working man in the valley, and great personality, great people skills, but he no education past high school. He wasn't like he was a brilliant PhD. He was just a man that learned how to work hard. And one time in May Day of 1955, our biggest chicken coop was the size of a football field, and our best coop burned to the ground. And a Sunday afternoon, from a little building on the end, it burned the whole coop down, all 3,000 pullet hens ready to lay eggs. It was a devastating fire, financially devastating, no insurance. And we really were hurt by it. It was a very serious blow to us financially, because we were trying to build and grow and pay for things. And so if that wasn't enough, in July of 1956, just 11 months later, in the middle of the night, one of the motors on the back of one of our incubators caught fire and burnt our hatchery down, which was our primary revenue source. And it was on fire, and the people coming home from Geneva Steel in the middle of the night saw the flames high in the air and came in and rang the bell and called the fire department and called the cops, and we all got out of bed and went to try to fight this fire. And it was only 3 feet away from our little motel. If it would have burned down, it would have ruined us totally. And anyway, in the middle of the night, that fire consumed that hatchery, and it went to the ground, and it was a devastating thing. We now had 2 non-insurance fires in 2 years, in 13 months, that destroyed us economically. We were theoretically bankrupt. We didn't know that, because we didn't do that in those days. But my mother was in the house crying, and my brother and I were in there in tears nearly, because we realized we were financially upside down. And my dad had been on the top of the motel behind a tarp with some other fire department people, pouring water on one wall to save the motel, and they did. But the hatchery went to the ground. He came in the house after the fire was finally out, and we were devastated, and he looked at us, and he smiled, and I don't know if he smiled or not, I hope he didn't, but he said to us, and I'll use the English word, not the French word. He said, "My heck," you put in the French word, "aren't we ever going to have breakfast around here?" And we stopped, and Mother cooked an egg, which we had a lot of, and he cooked an egg, and he ate his breakfast, and he got up from the breakfast and got on this old tractor we had and started cleaning up. Bad things happen to good people, and sometimes you can't help it. We've had a bad day. And he never sat down in a family home evening lesson and taught us about adversity and struggles and trials and problems and how to handle them. He exemplified it. I'll never forget that experience of him telling us, "Aren't we ever going to have breakfast around here? We got to eat. If we're going to go out to work, we got to eat." But I learned from that lesson that really what I just said, that sometimes bad things happen. And you can't help it, you just go start over. And he did. He started over, cleaned up the place, went and got some new incubators, put them in the basement of the feed mill, and off we went again, hatching baby chicks and selling them all over, and eventually survived that financial disaster. But those 2 fires are memories I'll never forget, but the lessons I learned are the most important ones. We really can and must recognize that bad things will happen, and we can't always fix them. We can be destroyed by them, or we can grow from them. And he chose to grow from them and taught us that that's how we ought to handle life as well.